guys, you're welcome to the channel today. So this channel is centered around sewing, and I make sewing tutorial videos, pattern drafting, and ready to wear outfits. So today I'll be teaching you the easiest and the simplest method on how you can draft a female pant or trouser. So before I proceed, I would like to remind you to please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and if you have any question you can as well drop it in the comment section and I'll answer just that. So in today's tutorial I'll be sharing with you how to draft female pants or trousers. So before we get started, in order to draft your trouser or your pants, there are some basic lines you need to put into consideration. Number 1 is your waistline, number 2 is your hip line, number 3 is your crotch line, number 4 is your knee length. But this is actually exceptional when you are drafting for a short pant. That's the knee length. So as you can see me, I'm just marking a straight line, and automatically that becomes my waistline, and also my measurement will be starting from there. So I'll just try to label it as my waistline, and once I'm done with that, I'll go ahead by imputing my hip length. And we know the standard measurement for our hip length is usually 8 to 9, but me, I'm working with 9 inches. And for the crotch length, how to get your crotch length is you divide your hip circumference by 4, and whatever you get, you mark it there, or you sit on a flat surface and measure from your waistline down to the surface that is flat which you are sitting on. So that's just it, and that line I'm drawing there is just for my knee length, and the last line which I'll be drawing will be for my full length, which is 42. My camera didn't get that part of the dress, and I just realized when I was done, but notwithstanding that, we just proceed. So once I'm done marking all these lines, I'll just go ahead to extend my lines. So I'll just extend all these lines in order to make it very visible. So once I'm done extending all these lines, I'll just come to my waistline and I'll come in by 1.5 inches. If you watch very well, you can see what I'm doing. You just come in by 1.5 inches because we are trying to make this trouser have a shape. So at your full length as well, you go in by 2 inches. Apologies that this camera didn't get to that part of this dress, but notwithstanding that, you understand what I mean, right? On your full length, on the full length of your trouser, you just come in by 2 inches. So that's what I just did, and we're trying to give this trouser a shape. So you'll be connecting all those lines all the way down to your waist. So watch me as I do this with my ruler and just follow my steps. So basically, as you can see, I'm done shaping this trouser, and I just moved to my waistline. I divided my waist by 4, that's my waist circumference, and I added 2 inches allowance. And on my hip length, I'll be dividing my hip circumference by 4, and I'll be adding 2 inches sewing allowance. But when you get to your crotch length, you do not divide by 4. You divide by 2 because that is exactly where you'll be taking your lap or your thigh measurement. So on your crotch line, please do not divide by 4, you divide by 2. The only places you divide by 4 is your waistline and your hip line. So here I'm just imputing my hip circumference divided by 4 plus 2 inches sewing allowance, and that's what you just see me doing like this. 2 inches, 1.5 inches, or 1 inch, but do not go with half inch. Okay, so once I'm done with that, I'll just move over to my crotch length, and I'll also impute my measurements and my thigh divided by 2, which is 13, and I'll add 2 inches allowance and to make it 15. So I'll just mark 15 inches on that line. So as you can see here now, I'm done drafting all that. So I'll just connect these string lines from my crotch length to my hip length and to the waist and to my waistline. So as you can see, I've done this and it's actually giving us that trouser vibe. You understand what I mean? It's already taking the shape it needs to take. So now what I'll be doing is to go to the down part of my trouser to determine the width of this trouser. So this trouser is actually not going to be fitted. It's going to be wide but not too wide. So what I just did was to measure what I have on my crotch length, and that is 15. Remember, I added 2 inches allowance, so I'll be subtracting that 2 inches and I'll be having 13 inches. So I'll be marking it all the way down to that my trouser full length. So that's just what I was trying to explain there. So as you can see me there, I'm already imputing the 13 inches there. So when I'm just done with this, I'll just connect all the way from the bottom to my crotch length. Sorry, my crotch line. Once you're done connecting all these lines, you come to your waistline, the part facing your crotch, you come down by 1 inch, and from that 1 inch you slightly connect to your other part of your waistline, which is facing the hip side. So you slightly connect this. Remember, just come down by just 1 inch. So once you're done with it, just cut out. Just cut out everything which you have. So here I've actually cut out and I folded my other fabric, and I placed this front panel of my trouser in front, and that will be my back. You see where my hand is, right? Yes, you're coming out by 1.5 inches for the back. Yeah, for the back trouser, that's what you'll be doing. You'll be coming out by 1.5 inches on that crotch line. So on your full length trouser, that side facing towards the crotch part, you also come out by 1 inch. So you do the same on your waistline facing the hip, you come out by 1 inch as well. So I'll just go by by marking out the 1.5 inch, and I'll go to my full trouser length and also mark out the 1 inch. So once you're done marking this out, I will just join the lines together. So you can see me, so you just join the lines together, and once I'm done with that, I come to that part which I cut off 1 inch from the front. I replace the 1 inch there and I add extra 1 inch for the back. And remember, the back of a trouser is usually higher than the front, so that's what I'll just do. I also connect slightly to that 1 inch extra which you added for the back trouser. So that's basically all for that. So to get your crotch curve, you don't cut exactly on the front crotch. So to get this, to make this more simple for you, you just have to place your tape on your hip line and come out by 2 inches or 1.5 inches. When you must have done this, you just mark it there, so you don't cut exactly on the front crotch because you are getting it all wrong. So as you can see me, what I did here, I'll just connect carefully and it will intercept exactly on that waistline. It shouldn't be shorter or longer, it should just intercept. Yeah. And if you're actually adding a zipper to the back, you can as well at this point add an inch allowance, 1 inch allowance. So you just connect this, and that is basically all for that. So I'm just trying to connect those lines, the 2 inches which we marked earlier on, to the waistline. And remember, you're slightly connecting this. So once you're done, you just cut all of this out, and that's all for the trouser. So I just went ahead to iron my fabric to my lining, and this is what I have. As you can see, it's looking all neat and fine and nice. And that's basically all for trouser. Like, it's like the most simplest and easiest thing for me. So I will just cut out for the zipper flyer and just watch what I'm doing. So you just mark 2.5 inches wide and 8 inches long, or for the length. So you just mark these and connect the lines, and once you connect the lines, once you're done connecting the lines, you just cut this out. So now I'm done cutting this, and we know that the flyer is usually 2, so I'm cutting for the other part, and I'll be also going with the 8 inches, and I'll mark this out. Then my width, I'll also mark this out. Then I'll join all these lines together. So as you can see right here, I'm joining these lines, and you come to the bottom part of it, and what you do is you go up by 1 inch or 1.5 inches or 2 inches, and you slightly make a curve from there. You understand? As you can see, I'm pointing it, so you slightly make a curve. You curve it all the way down. You can do better than me actually. So you cut it all the way down, you just cut it out. That's definitely all, like all for this. So I just went ahead to iron this with my interfacing or my gum stay, whichever thing you call it. I just did that for doing purpose, not really for any specific reason. So you can see I've ironed all my trousers, it's looking neat and nice. So I'll go right to my, okay, sorry, before that, that's my back panel, and I'll just get the 2 piece for my back panel. That's the trouser, and here it actually is. So all I'll just be doing at the moment is at that crotch area for the back, for the 2 back panels, I'll just be joining them together with my sewing machine. Just the crotch part alone, please, just the crotch part alone. I'll just be joining the crotch parts with 1/2 inch and right side facing each other. If you don't understand what I'm saying, just watch what I'm doing, you will definitely understand. So remember, right side facing each other, you're going to use 1/2 inch to join all the way from your waist to your crotch line. That's the pointed part. So as you can see, I just went ahead to join it with 1/2 inch in my sewing machine, and you can see what it looks like. So I just spread it out, and this is the front part of my fabric. So I'll be getting the right side of my front trouser panel, and I'll be placing it right side facing each other exactly at the back panel of my trouser. And just watch me very well, and I'll be placing it exactly right side facing each other at the waistline there. And from there you're going to join with 1/2 inch, with 1 inch. When you get to the hip length, you join with 1/2 inch. So this is what I've done, and I've joined the 2 sides because you're actually going to join the 2 legs, just the sides, not the crotch or the inner part of your trouser. So here I'll bring my 2 front crotch together, and I'll just pin this down because I'll be taking my last measurement for adding my zipper. So I just flip this over, and I'll be inputting the last measurements before I attach my zipper. Yeah, you have to do this. You don't have to stitch it before taking or inputting your measurements. You have to pin it first. So I'm done taking all the measurements, and we'll be adding our zipper here. So from that crotch point, remember this is the front part because I'm adding my zipper to the front. So you go by 6 inches and you mark it and stitch all the way down. So that's basically for it, and here it will look like this if you're actually following my instructions. And it's time to make use of my zipper and the flyer. So you see how I'm placing my zip, right? That's exactly how you should place your zip first on your fabric, and you just pin it down and you secure it so it doesn't fall off or go out of place. So when you must have done this, you just get your flyer and also pin it down. Just watch the way I'm doing all this. Ignore the white interfacing because by the time you are done, it will actually go in between the two fabrics. Yeah. So I just try pinning this down to make use of my zipper and the flyer. So you see how I'm placing my zip, right? That's exactly how you should place your zip first on your fabric, and you just pin it down and you secure it so it doesn't fall off or go out of place. So when you must have done this, you just get your flyer and also pin it down. Just watch the way I'm doing all this. Ignore the white interfacing because by the time you are done, it will actually go in between the two fabrics. Yeah. So I just try pinning this down. Hope you understand what I'm doing, right? I'm just repeating what I did at the left hand side of my trouser at the right hand side. And please remember that the rectangular flyer should be at your left hand side of your trouser panel, and the flyer with a curve should be at the right hand side. So that's basically all I did. So I'm just pinning it down to secure it, and I'll go ahead to stitch this all the way down once I'm done, and I'll come and show you what it looks like. So this is it. I've already joined it, and this is the outcome of it. And I'm just removing all these annoying threads that pop up when sewing. So the next thing is to draft out my band for the trouser, and the band will be 1 inch. Sorry, the band will be 1 inch for that. So before that, I'll just go ahead to sew in between. You understand where I mean, right? That crotch area. So feel free to stitch everything together now, because we are done with this trouser. Almost done. It's just the band left. So I'll just go and draft my band. So I'm just marking it on fold. I'm just marking this on fold. You can see what I'm doing, right? Please, wherever you are confused, you can as well ask your question, and I will attend to it without hesitating. I'm marking 4 inches because by the time I'm done, I'll be taking in 1 inch at both sides, and I'll be left with 1 inch. But once I cut out and I fold, it will come to 2 inches. So as you can see, I already used my gum stay or paper stay for this, and you can see where I placed it. And for this to have a neat finishing, I just went ahead to stitch the end of that band. And remember to notch your band at the middle, so you place it exactly at the back of your crotch, like the back panel of your trouser. I hope you understand what I mean, right? So you can see the neat finishing. That was what I was actually talking about. So I'm all done and set, and here is the outcome of this trouser, and you can see how neat and beautiful and well ironed is looking. I went ahead, as you can see, the back part, you see, is longer than the front part, so that's actually how to know if your trouser is actually very good. And like I told you, the leg will not be fitted, and this is actually it. Please, if you've come this extent watching this tutorial, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification bell so you get notified when I post awesome videos. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. So do try this out, and you can come back and tell me the outcome of your practice. Bye.